Hello my sexy compatriots, this is the cup of coffee you all know and love, Minty Coffee, and we are back with another Team Fortress 2 casual commentary. As the title suggests, we will be going over Heavy versus Pyro. Who really needs the update? So, let's talk about the Pyro. Probably the most dubious and strangest of all the classes in the game. No one quite knows what Pyro is really supposed to do. Is he a flank class? Is he an ambusher? Close range demon? None of these are really certain. The ironic thing is that Pyro has always had a reputation as the most versatile class in the game, yet that kind of works against him. For all the playstyles that Pyro has in his arsenal, he doesn't perform any of them particularly excellently, as pretty much every role Pyro can fill can be done better by another class. Flanker, Scout beats him hands down. Close range support, Heavy has a much tougher presence. Spy checking, literally nearly every other class has some form of spy checking nowadays. Scout has the milk, NG has bleed, Medic has the crossbow, Sniper has the bleed and piss, etc, etc. Point being, there's no real playstyle or role on the team that only Pyro can fulfill other than basically air blasting projectiles. But that's easily circumvented, and this makes him that one class that people are fine with not having on any team. Now, let's compare Pyro to the Heavy. The Heavy is the beefiest class on the team in the game with a whopping 300 health, topped up to a monstrous 450 with max overheal. The Heavy's minigun is right alongside the stock flamethrower as the most dangerous source of close range damage in the game, being able to mow down any other player in seconds. The minigun and the flamethrower both have the same amount of ammunition, but the flamethrower has the advantage of air blast and not slowing you down when you fire. Surely this must mean that the Pyro is better at close range, right? Well, not really. The biggest difference is that the Heavy by default takes far less knockback from other sources than the Pyro, enemy air blast being the only exception, as well as having just about double the health of the Pyro to begin with. This is why 9 times out of 10 if you put a WM1 Pyro against a revved up Heavy, if the Heavy knows how to aim, he's gonna win unless he straight up sucks with minigun tracking. On top of this, the Heavy's other slots can be equipped with handy support items like the Sandwich, allowing him to heal other teammates with a handy medium health pack. And then, there's the Gru and Fists of Steel, either letting him get to the front line a lot faster, taking effectively half damage from ranged sources, making his survivability on a capture point or when fleeing the scene that much higher. And on top of all of this, the minigun has almost triple the DPS of the flamethrower. Pyro's only supportive attributes are spy checking, putting out allies, and being able to remove sappers. As mentioned, spy checking can just as easily be done by any other class with halfway decent situational awareness, or just being able to use their damn ears. And in higher level play, afterburn is pretty much non-existent, so while being able to put it out is nice, 9 times out of 10 there won't really be a situation where not putting someone out will result in their death, and often medics will like to use the afterburn on their target to build Uber a bit faster. The 20 health you get from putting someone out is nice, but it's insignificant when that can easily be plucked off by any stray roller, sticky or rocket. As for his sapper removing, it needn't be said that good engineers don't like Pyros that remove sappers before killing the sapper happy Frenchman, effectively rendering the sapper removing melee weapons situational at best, and downgrades at worst. How about in the realm of weapon consistency? Well, that's a much nastier case. For what it's worth, the stock minigun performs reliably, and if you fail to get your kill with it, then you kinda just straight up suck at aiming or got outplayed. It's about as fair as that. With any flamethrower, however, there's a straight problem. Discovered by long-time Pyro mains was the bug that showed flame particle hitboxes travelled based on an individual player's ping, rather than the flamethrowers having a static range. This means the worse your connection, the more handicapped you're going to be playing as Pyro, and it's no fault of your own. Some players simply don't have the Uber 1MS internet connection that others do, but they shouldn't be unfairly penalised for this. Knowing this, I ask this simple question: who really needs the update? I'll admit I voted Team Heavy just for the sake of getting more kit for Heavy back in the day, plus I didn't enjoy playing Pyro back then nearly as much as I love him now, but considering the glaring inconsistencies in the flamethrower's performance across the board, as well as the lack of an established role for the Pyro compared to the Heavy, I think Pyro safely deserves the update far more. There should also really be little to complain about, as we will still be getting an update for the Heavy afterward, so everyone was going to benefit regardless of who won the Meet Your Match race. It was just a case of letting the community decide who they think needed fixing first, and they, in my opinion, rightly chose the Pyro. This is a good thing from Meet Your Match that is kind of overlooked. As bad as the update was, the one good thing is that they left it up to the community to decide which class did they really want to be fixed first. What do you think about this? Does Pyro need more fixing than the Heavy, or does the big lovable Bolshevik need some more attention than the moronic Master Mumbler? Leave your thoughts below, what you like, didn't like, and all that jazz. This has been Minty Coffee, and I will see you next time, my sexy compatriots. Bye!
I am the man who arranges the blocks that continue to fall from up above. The food on your plate now belongs to the state, a collective regime of peace and love.